So, how did you get started when you were first doing the teaching NP? I feel like, again, you are such a titan in what you're doing that nurses that are listening may struggle to understand how you got there. So, what were your first couple of steps for people that just want to latch on to, like, okay, these might be the first couple of things I want to start thinking about if I'm starting some type of a business?
Yeah, I think it's first identifying what's the idea? Like, what are you looking to do? The second piece is doing market research. Is the market already saturated? You can still do something that already exists, but the difference will be is that it's going to be you doing it, which might bring a different lens and perspective to it. So it's okay if, you're doing something similar that's already out there, but you do want to be mindful of how saturated the market is in certain areas. I think that's a key piece. I think also recognizing, is there a gap in the market? Is this a niche area that you're able to fill a need and a need that can continue to grow? For example, for myself, the NP profession is just growing and, you know, the NP scope has grown significantly and substantially that NPs are being incorporated in all areas of healthcare, primary care, acute care, peds, obstetrics, cardiac clinics, and neurosurgery, you name it, and NPs are there and they're in high demand as well. So I think those are the first steps. And then creating almost like an outline of what you want to create, a step by step. You don't need to write out a whole business plan, but for me, it started with, you know what? My first idea was, let me ask a few students if they would like to learn from me for one day. I then created a learning plan, of what I'm going to cover that day. So starting small, brainstorming those ideas of what it will look like. And then it started with creating templates. So let me create a history taking template. Let me then create a management plan template. Let me create a template on how to perform a knee exam where you can check all of the various ligaments within the knee. And as I went, I evaluated and reflected, anytime I taught so that I could grow and develop further from each of my teaching days. And I think that is the key takeaway is you come up with an idea, you apply it, and then what worked and what didn't work. And then what didn't work, you're going to troubleshoot and build on top of your existing plan. And then you just continue to do that. And I still continue to do that to this day, like I'm sure you do as well, Janelle.
Oh, I can tell that you're such a good teacher just based on how you broke all of that down. Like all of your students are so lucky to
Oh,
have you.
thank you, Janelle. Thank you.
Um, I definitely started the same way. I started just with like a simple fever idea, and then I was like, let's do some market research. And for people that keep hearing the term market research and they're like, what is that? It could be as simple
Right.
as Googling to figuring out what something is, hopping on social media. Reddit is huge, and there's all different subreddits. So there's a subreddit for nurse practitioner, a subreddit for medical writing for nurses, endless as far as that. Start talking to your peers that are in these areas. All of that is market research. Just figure out what the trends are. If there's too many people in one area for like a certain business plan, it might not be the best business plan for you, but you can use that as a jumping off board to create
Yeah.
something else if you see a need there. So that's all that market research is. I also love that you brought up that you started with templates. You started with one thing that sparked another thing and sparked another thing. That's definitely how I started too. I think I started with making a list of questions that I was confused about and I didn't understand when I was budding medical writer. And then I was like, I'm
Right.
gonna answer these questions. And then the list kept going longer. I think I started with templates, and then I was like, let's make this into a workshop. The
Yeah.
workshop grew, it became a course. So
Yes.
I think if you can just figure out your need, or what someone else needs, make sure that it's not saturated and that it makes sense, it's a viable option, and
Yeah.
then just get that ball rolling with one thing, and that one small thing can spark other
Ideas and
yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, yeah, other ideas.
resources. Yeah.
What is your best advice for nurses listening out there that might want to be doing something similar, whether it be in-person classes, educating their peers, digital content? What advice do you have for people listening?
I think I think my advice would be is first identifying what it is you want to teach. Are you passionate about it? Are you an expert in the field, or can you somehow become an expert in the field? There's the rule of 10,000 hours, right? To become considered an expert in a certain area. And so applying those 10,000 hours and continue to build on that. And then I think it really is, how do you roll it out? What is it going to look like? And you have to really break it down. Do you want to be in the online space, or do you want to be in-person teaching, face-to-face, traveling, right? So you have to identify what area and what actually is going to work and fit within your life. It also requires many, many compromises, right? Depending on if traveling and in-person teaching is what you love to do, then just consider how those things will impact. But know that the entrepreneur journey comes with a lot of sacrifice, and you have to be ready to get uncomfortable. But with being uncomfortable comes significant growth and development, and that allows you to build greater resources and greater products for your specific audience, right? And that's the only way that you're going to get there, is you got to get uncomfortable and you got to be gritty.
Absolutely. I keep calling owning my own business like the most scary and fun chess game ever, because I'm like, what does this move do? I have no
Yes.
idea, but I'm gonna make it, and it might be a good idea or I might regret this move. But the thing is, I'm making the move. I'm in charge. So whatever move I'm making, I own it completely. And there's a lot of like freedom and invigorating feelings that come along with that. And even if it's not my smartest business move, like, you know what, that's okay. I'll get them next time. Business owning is tough, but there's a lot of, like you said, personal growth that comes with it.
Yeah. And then having that growth mindset, so if you do encounter a challenge, you have to be good to yourself. You have to be good to your mind. And that means accepting the challenge and telling yourself that you will get through the obstacle, rather than this is the end of my business. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, how badly do you want it? You really have to invest a lot into it. But when you are passionate about something and it lights a fire in you like nothing else, most entrepreneurs, they keep going because there
Mhm.
is an internal driving force that keeps them going up against the hard stuff, that keeps them overcoming challenges and obstacles. And that is how often you will grow and develop within yourself, as an entrepreneur, but also for your own business.
Mhm. I've definitely had those moments where I haven't had the growth I've wanted, or I haven't met
Yeah.
a goal that I've wanted, or I've just something hasn't played out how I wanted it to. And what really helps me is just reflecting on the last year and what I
Yes.
have accomplished. Or I'll look at my business goals from last year and I'll be like, I can't even believe that was a business goal because I'm so far past that now. So
Yes.
like you said, having grace with you, because we
Yeah.
are so capable as business owners and the growth will be huge in this space. So even if you do have setbacks, just to stick with it.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you so much for all of this. This was so incredibly helpful.
amazing, Janelle. And I will say, as you grow as an entrepreneur, be mindful of putting yourself in a box. I think it's very key to start with that one thing. There's even a book out there called The One Thing. That's a great read. And building on that one thing, one product, what is it that you really want to get out there? And then expanding on various things, right? And I think the key is that not limiting yourself. Like, so if you create that one thing that does well, the next thing might be creating a membership for your whatever community it is. Maybe it's doing one-on-one coaching. Maybe it's traveling and doing speaking, engaging in speaking opportunities. And so I think if we stay closed-minded, the universe will not hear what we actually want, right? So we have to put it out there and we have to live in that.
Yeah, I think definitely being open helps with that.
Mhm.
Networking helps with that. Bouncing ideas off of other entrepreneurs definitely helps with that. Membership
Absolutely.
was not even like within my realm until I connected with another entrepreneur that was running her own membership.
Yeah.
So just being open-minded and collaborative with other creators can be incredibly valuable. So also not putting yourself like on an island by yourself. Just because you're the owner of your business doesn't mean that you have to do everything alone. And there's a lot of growth and collaboration in this industry.
Absolutely. Yep.